I unintentionally shut the video off and cut it short. I didn't mean to, so I'm doing a follow-up to that. Now it's 6:32 p.m. Wednesday, 10/27/2021, East Coast, New Jersey by New York City. So if you didn't listen to the last video, I described what I saw. What looked like a war going on, spiritual warfare, demonic and God's angels, taking place at the above the volcano in the sky. That I didn't put the footage up. I didn't post it. I recorded it, what I saw, but it's hard to see because it's just in a little box. I'm just recapping what I said in the last video. It's just in a little sub box that's pretty small to the right of the screen, so it would be hard to see. So what I was describing and I got cut off doing in the last video is how to use Windows 10 magnification to do that in the event that I put up that video or you just want to use it. By using that, again, you could zoom in, but also use the cursor to move the screen to the spot that you want to and magnify it or demagnify it as you will, which would give me the ability to show that small box and magnify it and move it over and show it on the whole screen, which I did. And I did a video. Again, I loaded it, but I didn't post it. Maybe I will, but I want to describe what to do to view it properly. And you kind of have to have experience and know how to do this to really look at that footage. And I'm not going to do a video myself again and redo it and show that and do the whole screen again and magnify it with the Windows 10 magnifier and show you it that way, and shut it off and pause and show certain images and go back and redo it. I'm not going to do that. So if I put that video up, you'd have to do it yourself, and I'm describing how to do it. I didn't know how to do it I previous to today, but I just researched it. It's very simple. All you do is press the Windows key, hold it, and press the plus key at the top of your keyboard, and you should see a little box come up, and you could magnify or demagnify by pressing the buttons higher or lower. But also you'll notice that if you put the cursor on the screen will move in different ways. It's kind of tricky, but whatever area you want to go to, just put it there and leave it there. Again, it takes a little getting used to how to maneuver it and operate it, but that's how you do it. And anytime you want to zoom out to 100% and normal again, I think you could do it one of two ways. Either, again, hold the Windows key and either at the same time press the minus or plus key at the top of the keyboard to zoom in and out, or you could press the control key to the right of the keyboard and hold it there and do the same. Press either the minus or the plus sign to go in and out of the magnification. Also, to stop and start footage of any video, you could use the space bar. Press it to stop it or press it to start it, whichever you want to do. If it's going, you press it, it stops. If it's stopped, you press it, it goes ahead again, starts rolling. And also the right and left toggle keys can allow you to go back 5 seconds or go ahead 4 seconds. So that's how you maneuver that in case you're not used to that. But be careful to click the inside of the video as you're watching it, which also starts and stops it automatically. Anywhere in the space of the video that you're showing stops and starts it. But also, unless you click it on the video while you're doing that, the right and left timestamp toggles to go back 5 seconds or ahead 5 seconds, they won't work. You have to press it either in the video itself or in the bottom of the controls as you're watching the video, where you normally turned it on and off and so forth. You could, where the settings are, and so everything's on that bar. And also you could move that Windows 10 magnifier the little bar that pops up. You can move that around on the screen also anywhere you'd like. So I got cut cut off on that last video, but that concludes the instructions on that. But I want to continue a little bit about this because I've seen so many angel footages, all kinds of every time I really turn something on, it's like right there for me. It's almost like I know it's going to pop up. I get this sense to watch, and there it is. It's been difficult to show that footage. I tried, but the images are so small of the angels that it's hard to really notice them, and it's too dark and so forth. And you can't really hone in on it. You can't see it up close. And also with just about all of these images, when I try to do that, and when I put it in my camera, magnifier and try to enhance the image and use different settings, all you see are black boxes, rectangles, or blackened out areas. I think that's intentional. It's being done because whenever I try to hone in and show up close these images, it's blocked out. It's blacked out with these black boxes or rectangles and so on. I saw some footage maybe a week ago where it was clear that there were two angels there, and the image was large. I could see, but I mean not perfectly, but I could tell that they were angels. It was kind of darkened, and then even more. I mean, they're just flying. It seems like they're flying everywhere. They're all around. There's spiritual war going on there. I see it everywhere. I see these angels. A lot of times they're so small you could hardly tell, but I could tell. I could tell by the flapping motion, by the zigzag way, and there's like a little bit of a shiny, sparkly trail that they leave, whether very small or even larger images or footage. Sometimes they dart off and they stay suddenly stationary and stay there, then they dart off again and then move somewhere above the volcano, and they're totally stationary, and then they zoom off. I've also noticed many times that it seems like they're there. One of the purposes is to show the point where there's objects in the sky, where those bodies, celestial objects, are there, and sure enough they're there, and there's light shining on it in a certain way, and I could see them totally clearly round, different colors. I have that footage. So I know that that's one of the purposes that they're being shown in footage, to warn what's going on in the sky above. That very likely could also be, affecting the Earth magnetically, pull these planetary objects. So to me, this is all indication of how close I believe the rapture is, regardless of anyone's take or opinion about what would ultimately set it off or not, whether it be artificial or man-made or supernatural or objects in the sky or any number of all different things, which I believe it's all different variables put together, asteroids going in patterns above certain areas, absolutely on target. If you haven't listened to me before say this, I've been watching this person. His name is Eagle. I guess Eagle, the real earthquake guy, something like that. I know what it is, but I may not have stated it exactly, but he's right on target. I mean, within minutes of what he said and the magnitude, I'm telling you, it's happening. It's unbelievable. Other issues, there doesn't have to be a specific pattern to earthquakes for there to be artificially caused, whether they're in a grid or not. And that's the rebuttal and disinformation and misinformation against, saying that there's any type of influence that could produce earthquakes that's not natural, that's caused and perpetuated by others. Absolutely is, according to some. And I had to use those words because I don't want to get trapped into anything here. And there's patents on it, on all this stuff, no matter what it is. Also, the SUN simulator, I've caught pictures of that too on here, where it's totally glaring bright, half of the screen or 3/4 of the screen, literally within 2 seconds it's gone, and it's coming from an outer source. It's not the camera, it's coming from the sky, and usually to hide things, whatever's up there, including things, creatures or sights I've seen of flying objects or things or beings or heavenly bodies. So I posted a video showing those grid patterns, and then there was a big to-do and storm about this the last several days. And then all the big honchos, scientific community and everything, downplaying it and saying, I don't care about the topic of whether it's true or not. You know, if they're in a pattern and we're artificially produced, that's not my point. Let me finish here. But it's their conclusion that they use this all to bring, that it's ridiculous, that nothing has influenced, you know, this volcano, Cumbre Vieja, or any other volcanoes, or can can artificially produce earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. So the spin was right there, put on the whole thing, and to me it's very, very deceptive of how they are recording these earthquakes and funneling them down, or channeling them down, or coning them down from I guess their exact locations when you zoom way out from their latitude and longitude positions, but then funneling, can't say that word, them down, like from a large part of a cone to the small part, like an ice cream cone, to the bottom of the screen, which would be the tip of the ice cream cone, to that point, which represented a grid pattern, where was those quakes, wherever they were funneled down to that spot just to show the general vicinity, though their actual epicenters were not there but elsewhere, according to the longitude and latitude coordinates, if you know what I'm saying. That's very deceptive, whether, you know, or I should say very confusing, you know, to the average person looking at something like that, and can come to certain conclusions. But again, it doesn't matter if it's on a grid or not for some kind of manipulation to occur. The point is moot. And then the whole thrust of it was to downplay and disavow and make seem totally sensational and crazy anyone who has some kind of conspiracy that anything like that could even exist. Like, what a joke, you know. And again, all the stuff is patented. It's old news. It is. It's not fake. It's true news. All you have to do is go to the patents. That's all there is to it. Or look at the coinky-dink, or coincidence, that suddenly, magically, on 9/11 of this past month, all of a sudden, the earthquakes suddenly began going crazy, leading up to the eruption, and right before the eruption they dropped off to like nothing, and then the volcano erupted, I guess, on 9/19. And if you see the charts now, there's been a steady climb and increase in intensity and number of volcanoes right down the line for the past several weeks here. The other few days up to now, things have just been going bonkers with that, with those quakes in every way. For certain reasons, I think there could be like a 6 or something any moment now here. For certain reasons, I'm not predicting that. I'm not even explaining what I mean here, but just look for maybe tonight again. There could be some big quakes here. There was just like a 5.4. Again, you won't see that anywhere, but it was reported at actually that high, and then it's dropped down to something like 4.9 or whatever they dropped it down to now, 4.8 in the past hours here during this day. So I guess there's some energy moving in as we speak here, and so the night could, you know, bring similar high magnitude quakes here. So if you've been waiting to hear, ooh, now there's a 5, we're way up to a 5, they just keep dropping it down below 5 to 4.9. It's just a psychological barrier. I've seen that all along here as this has been going on. They just won't go higher, because now all of a sudden it's like, oh, now there's a 5, you know. Actually, it's been in the mid fives, and who knows, maybe up to 6 or even near 6. So I think that's probably also likely that's already occurred. And then it's being telegraphed or said, Bushcraft Bear and all the rest of them, they're warning of 6, they're saying 6.0 or greater. So they're already saying it's going to happen and it's imminent, and landslides, and that part, a little bit of that is happening in places with, landslides, but not the big one, like to talk about the California earthquake. The big one happening, that's been being said for, the past 50 years, but which is likely, whatever, something to similar type of thing that could happen, of a major breaking magnitude earthquake and break off and so forth, major destruction. So if the official mouthpieces are coming out in the open now talking about 6 or 6.0 or maybe even greater, and landslides and so on, then you could be pretty sure that that's pretty close. Though again, I have to say that it's not being predicted by anyone there, but it's being warned in other words, they express great confidence and are giving warnings that they expect that could very much happen right now here. There's a lot of activity going on with the ferries and transportation in and out to and from La Palma right now. I guess a lot of curiosity seekers want to actually go to the island to see the volcano. Lots of luck. LOL! Exclamation 3 times. I mean, it's amazing that they're even being allowed to do that at this point with the warnings that are going out there. But it's really seems like the first time there's been such a frenzy of people going in and out of the island right this second. So the people there are feeling the ground jar, sometimes really strongly, sometimes continuously. But there's been bigger and bigger quakes here now, several 4s, high magnitude 4s in the last 24 hours here. A lot of damage control all across the board here. A lot of opposition and scoffing and refuting of anyone trying to present, what the possibilities are here, and warning others of something really catastrophic that could be going down there. And again, with the land break off. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying anyone is predicting that specifically or at a specific time. But it seems obvious that there's a total information damage control mode that's been in progress here to try to discredit anyone, having any such quote unquote crazy wild schemes and ideas, or apocalyptic or prophetic. If you've noticed, how could you not? If you go onto a lot of these chat rooms, like with the live streams, how they're just censoring any information that has anything to do with quote unquote religion, or downplaying totally any possibility that anything like that could happen with a land break off and a tsunami. You can't even mention that. You can't mention religion. Anything spiritual, prophetic. It's not here. They take you right down. They censor you and remove your comments or ban you. No religion here, they'll say, or no politics. No, you can't discuss anything like that. Ridiculous. Stay on topic. All these kind of things. Or the moderators showing links to so-called scientific explanations, proving and refuting, in their words, in the comments, with the link that this is not possible, it cannot happen, or it's not going to happen, it's just speculation. It seemed very much to be used in predictive programming and shows like The Simpsons or video games. We've seen footage of those programs, specifically with the Canary Islands and La Palma mentioned in them clearly, and that exact scenario taking place. Okay, to end this, or what have you, I don't want to mention this again, but I feel in my spirit I should, about the bushcraft bear and what the truth might be about him. I've amassed a lot of information, seen a lot of videos, seen a lot of footage that seem to indicate a lot of occult, inferences and imagery. I'm not going to share that here. I'm not going to show any pictures. I have a lot of stuff I could do, but I feel in my spirit that in my conscience I need to at least mention this fact. So I'm not going to go into that, at least not here. I feel very strongly as I'm speaking these words that I should. There's been references about him from anything to do with the movie Vendetta, or V for Vendetta, however it's pronounced. I saw that movie like 15 years ago or so, 10, 15 years ago. And the image of the main character, or even I Pet Goat 2, or gematria, or, inferring something about the specific psalm, the number of the psalm that he reads. Now, I'm not going to say either way. I'm not going to say no to that, but I'm not here to bring all this out in the open, even though maybe it should. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Bushcraft Bear has a German channel, and he's reporting on the volcano in just German. He seems very comfortable and fluent in that language, and very confident. I don't know, just a sort of a different demeanor or behavior or attitude, like very bold, very different than the American kind of appearance and image and, innocence that seems that way listening to him in English. I mean, at least the footage that I saw, put it that way. Let me mention what I saw in that video that I came across several days ago of his German site. He was up on a hill, I forget where he was, at this very famous, cafe kind of place, high end, on the outside patio. You could sit there and look out at the view and see the volcano. I forget the name of it, but it's very well known. Now, I don't know if this means anything, but I'm just going to mention it just for the heck of it, that in the German version, he showed some images that weren't in the American version, and what he showed up there in that cafe or eatery, with no one there but himself outside recording, he showed a couple of murals on the wall. Now, this could mean nothing, or I don't know. There were a set of wings drawn on the wall with like rainbow colors on the outside of it, with two lightning bolts in the center of them. They were separated. In other words, wings turned outward, on a wall, just like you see on a bird. Or it was very large, though. I don't know what they represented. Could it be Phoenix, the Phoenix, angels, angel-like? But again, lightning bolts are a symbol of satanic things, occult. And to the right of that was an image, again, like maybe 6 feet high by, let's say, 5 feet across on the wall next to that. I guess I could describe it as a mural of Salvador Dali, like in a red cape and hood with big eyes and his mustache turned upwards, a characteristic of him. I'm not going to pick this apart anymore or infer, but let me finish. So, I mean, red, what does red represent? What could it represent? Also, who could it represent? Was he just showing that image just because he felt like it, because it was a nice image? Why did he not show it in the American version? I don't know. Why does his whiskers, when you look at him close up in that footage, look like pieces of yarn coming from someone's face and not... I don't know. That's just my observation. Anyway, that's what I saw. And also that mural that looked like Salvador Dali also has the V for Vendetta kind of association, V for volcano, and V for something else in your arm. And it's been said that bushcraft bear has a kind of a striking resemblance to that character in that V movie, V for Vendetta, whatever the name is exactly. He wears a hood, just like that mural showed, which was red, though it was red around that image. And of course the mustaches, his curling up a bit, is more so in the past. I have to say that even the mustache didn't look natural at all when I honed in on it. So maybe it's all coincidence. I don't know, it just felt like I should mention it. Like it could be coincidence of 100 other inferences and things that I saw that could just be coincidence, though there's so many of them, which again, I'm not even going to mention one of them here of all the things that I've seen. I'm not the type of person just to put stock in anything that I hear and go off, half crazed, thinking that something is true just because someone said it or because I think I saw something myself or whatever. Though, again, I felt in my spirit I should mention these things as much as I did here. I do, I feel that. Also, when he panned out of the picture to show the sky to the volcano, there wasn't much happening that when he was showing that. I saw something that looked kind of like a disc or something go right past the camera or the screen as soon as he showed the view out to the volcano. I don't know what it was. I tried to zoom it, but I really couldn't see anything. It looked like a lozenge or something, you know what I mean? Just like a brown, flat, circular thing. So again, is that just coincidence? Was it a bug? I don't think it was a bug. Why did it happen at that moment? Blah, 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 and so forth. Just a lot of crazy things, and then combine that to everything that I've been seeing left and right on all this footage. It's just insane and crazy. There's definitely spiritual warfare and spiritual things going on, and deception absolutely going on here, especially even with those others might look up highly to and think are a certain way, but may not be that at all. They may be being put up to what they're doing and just a total deceiver. Also in one of his videos, I forget which one, I saw the heliofont circle. It's like I don't know, like sort of like an airbrushed yellowish circle that represents all of that, like with iPet Goat and so forth. But it's not on any other of his videos, and instead there's a picture of a smiley face of a sun. So again, a lot of things can be considered possible gaslighting. If you don't know what that term means, it means to make you doubt what you see and what you think is the truth, even though it might be. Sort of like with the grid pattern thing. Again, using the word sandbagging. I used that at the beginning, whether this video or the previous one, to sort of hold back and not give all the facts or present it in a certain way to draw someone in, to make them think something, to make them look foolish, and then with the idea of of someone knowing exactly what the purpose of doing that is, to make them look foolish and for what reason, though it might not have be apparent, what they were saying, and it was meant to precipitate that or draw others in to think a certain thing, to disprove the very thing that could be true, regardless. All right, I said enough about all this stuff here again. Again, I'll mention again, look for certain reasons, maybe tonight into tomorrow, some big quakes again, maybe even bigger, more of an alarming nature, such as been voiced even by the officials, that they're expecting something even stronger than what we've had so far at really any time now. I'll try to throw these videos up. Again, I want to re-emphasize, I'm not worried about any wave, any tsunami, and hopefully others aren't. If you are, I hope you're take comfort and not be worried about such a thing. I believe the rapture this is part, I believe, of the Rapture scenario. I don't know how. I don't know all the details, but it just seems like it to me for everything that I've seen and experienced and all the signs and angels and all the images I've seen and a lot of other reasons. The point things are with the mandates, what seems to be a put-up food crisis, a suspicious type of food crisis or shortage and possibly happening here. I don't know, and then ships sitting off the coast, the west coast, and all kinds of wacky things you could start imagining what could be the reasons. Other blips or sound bites about economic things happening here with the stock market. That's been going on for a long time, but I mean, it could fit in here with all these other things going on, so it's not out of the question either. Like Jesus spoke of rumors of wars and so forth. And so the conditions in La Palma have continued to deteriorate all along here as we have moved ahead through the weeks. That does not look like it's going to improve, but it's going to continue. And the trend is that it keeps getting worse, really, by the day. So again, there could be some major developments overnight here, and even through the days here as we go, and especially I want to make the point of November 1st. Could be a very dramatic day there, traumatic as well as dramatic. But really, anytime now, anytime. I mean, how much pounding can one place take? It's been over 35,000 earthquakes on La Palma since this all started. The magma thrust is way down deep, right by the Earth's mantle, likely pushing up from there. That mountain volcano has been shredded into Swiss cheese, totally. The walls keep crumbling down. That whole area in that mountain and other places around it are smoking, which means that there's cracking in there with gases and possible magma wanting to break through there, throughout that whole area, not just the top, not just the main several vents there, and there's many vents, others opening up. The smoldering seems to show fissuring or cracks. That whole southwest flank has been shaken and sifted and shifted and jarred and loosened little by little here. And I did some videos with the screenshot a couple weeks back, if you go back and look at those, of the maps, the earthquakes that occurred in that exact area. And that's really been the target zone, the target area where all the action has been, that whole flank. And the position and movement of those quakes prior to the eruption from the south along that Cumbre ridge looks almost like it was torn, like you take a piece of paper and tear it all the way up as you head toward the volcano, like it was breaking off slowly as it moved northward, just like a fault line does. And then the tens of thousands of quakes that occurred to the west of that, to the sea, exactly in the western flank, the southern part, that the concern is. So the question is, how much longer, how much can it take? How much more can it take? Can this volcano, the ground, take before something possibly tears and rips apart completely? Of course, the larger the quakes, the more the possibility of that happening. Will it get to a 7.0 level? Probably, possibly, probably. When? I don't know. Soon? Could be. But whatever is happening is on a trajectory course higher, heading up there. So things aren't that far away from that. It's been underreported all along. Again, today the actual first reports were 5.4. Now the actual official reports from the island are to look for and expect 6.0 or higher, right out in their own words. So is that a stretch of an imagination? No, it's not. To go higher than that eventually, possibly. And then at what point, you know, is necessary, if anything, for it to break up to this point? How much more it could endure, or how much higher the magnitude would be required, or to set that thing off if that happens and break it off. Alright, gotta go. Don't have to, but I'm gonna end this video now, alright? I'll see you later. I don't know when I'll, again, if I'll be back when, so I can never tell. See you later. Bye.